Okay, so lads, then we're going to go on to another one. Right, let's pull this up. Okay, so we're going to do this one. Factorize 6x squared minus x minus 2. So again, you can see, lads, we've got three terms. This should tell you this is the end of the story. We've got three terms going on. Think about it, lads. When you get to the end of the story, like the story consists of a start, a middle, and the end. So you have three terms. Okay, you've got it all. You've been there. So what we're going to do is we'll draw our little grid again. We're going to put 6x squared up in the top left. We're going to put minus 2 in the bottom right because that's what we always do. That's what we can do straight away. We can put a multiplication sign there just to show that we're going to be multiplying in. Factorize means we need to find the two factors. The two factors are going to come from the left hand side, so in yellow, and I'm going to say the other factor is going to come from the top up here. So off we go. The first thing we do is we'd say, what two terms multiply to give me 6x squared? Now, if you want to pause the video and you do any of this yourself, you can. Okay, so I can do it that way, or 6x squared equals 6x multiplied by 1x. So I have two different ways the factors can come up. But just because the last one worked out, like when it was 4x squared, I used 4x multiplied by 1x. So let's say for this one, I'm going to use 6x multiplied by 1x. I'm just going to chance it. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. And if it doesn't work, then I can go back and use the 3x and 2x. So I'm going with 6x on the left hand side, 1x up on the top. And the next thing is, I'm going to write it down because I've done it before in a previous tutorial. So let's write down the term again, just so you know. Oh yeah, draw a line underneath this. And we're going to write down the question, 6x squared minus x minus 2 underneath. Okay, so we're going to say 6x squared minus x minus 2 is the end of the story. So my two terms in here, I'm going to put it in pink, let's say. This term here and this term here will be adding to give me minus x. So the next step I do is, what two numbers add to give me minus 2? Or multiply to give me minus 2. So what two numbers, so whatever the third term is, what two numbers multiply to give me minus 2 in this particular question. So minus 2, well, minus 2 multiplied by 1, or it could be 2 multiplied by minus 1. That's the way it could be. But that will also add to give me minus x. So I need to have two numbers adding to give me the minus x in the center. Now there's two ways I can put in the minus 2, 1. I could say minus 2 down here and 1 here. You don't know, lads, till you try to see if it's going to work. Let's multiply in with what I have. Blue 6x on the left hand side multiplied by the 1 on top, which is plus 1, gives me 6x. There's a minus 2 then at the bottom on the left hand side. Minus 2 multiplied by 1x is going to give you minus 2x. So as you can see right now, the minus 2x in pink plus the 6x, that's going to give you 4x, isn't it? Sure, that's not what we have. Our middle term is minus x. So I know that's not working. So what I could do is, why don't I switch them around? So I'm going to put 1 down here and minus 2 up here. See, will that make any difference? Well, now let's just check it out. Oh, and just change what's in the middle. See, it's handy when you have something like this, you can just clean it off. 6x on the left hand side multiplied by minus 2 gives me minus 12x. And 1 multiplied by 1x gives me 1x. Well, now straight away, lads, plus 1 minus 12 is not going to give me minus 1x. It's not going to give me my middle term. So I know that this down here, minus 2 multiplied by 1 is not working. I'm now going to try changing just the sign. So 2 multiplied by minus 1. Okay, so now I'm going to try 2 multiplied by minus 1. So I'm going to say 2 up here and then minus 1. So minus 1 on the bottom left hand side multiplied by 1x up on the top gives me minus 1x. On the top left hand side, 6x multiplied by 2 gives me 12x. These two terms, lads, should be adding to give me minus x, and they're not. Okay, so now I know, think about it. I now know this is not working either. So that can only mean that the only alternative is to go back to the start. See that we had two options for the 6x squared. None of these, like, they have to work out, lads. They've got to work out. But they're not working out with the factor I've chosen. I've done both ways. So I'm going to go back to the start, and I believe it should be 3x and 2x. That's what it's going to work with. Okay, so here we go. And like, I'm showing you this, and I know my YouTube is going live to my class, and my class is all I care about. But I'm doing this to show you what it's like when you're 13 or 14 years of age and you don't know what solution is going to work first time. It doesn't work. Some people get it first time. For some it's potluck. For some it's just an absolute struggle. So I'm showing it through the eyes of someone that would be struggling here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 3x in here, and I'm going to put the 2x up on top. Now lads, let's go again. 3x multiplied by 2x gives me 6x squared. Okay, so that's grand. The two numbers I know that multiply to give me minus 2, there's only two, is minus 2 and 1. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to highlight this in pink. I'm going to do that one first. Let's see, does that work? So I'm going to put minus 2, let's say up here, and I'm going to put 1 here. I want to see, does that work? I multiply into the grid. 1 multiplied by, on the bottom, multiplied by 2x on the top gives me 2x. 3x on the top multiplied by minus 2 on the top gives me minus 6x. When I add minus 2x and 2x minus 6x, that gives me minus 4x. That's not my term. So what I'm going to do is, I know it's 3x and 2x it works with now. I definitely know that, because there's no other choice for 6x squared. But the only thing I'm going to try is I'm going to change this again to another colour. Say I go green. I'm going to try the 2 and minus 1 now again. Surely to God that is going to work. Okay. 2, and I'm going to change this sign down here to minus 1. Okay, and I'm just going to erase what I had in the centre because I'm repeating it again. Okay, so that doesn't work out either because it doesn't add to give you minus x. So the only thing you're left, so just to show you that, we've got 2 and minus 1, wasn't it? So we had 2 on top here and we have minus 1 down here. This is what you get. And if the two of them don't add up again. So what I suggest to do is, the only thing we can do is, like, pink or blue has to work. But how about if we switch the numbers, the places of the numbers, so that 2 goes down the left hand side and the 1 goes on top. So let's put down 2 down here and let's make it a minus, a 1 on top. And let's again change what we have on the inside. So 3x multiplied by 1 is 3x. And minus 2 multiplied by 2x is minus 4x. And there you go, lads, it works. So it all depends upon how you put it into the grid. You may have to switch things around a few times. I've shown you the longest way of switching things around, but I show you that you're able to juggle things around. There is plenty of options to get to the final answer. And it will bleed you, but sometimes you have to go down a couple of rows before you can get to the end of the grid. Okay, so how I know this works is because minus 4x plus 3x gives me minus x. Now I need to write down, it said factorize, I'm not finished yet. I have to factorize, so the factors are, on the left hand side going down 3x minus 2. And on top of the grid is 2x with the 1, so it's 2x plus 1. And just put them in brackets side by side together. And that's it. Please repeat it and try it out yourself.